Hey designer, to Behance or not Behance? That is the question of the day. Do you know what Behance is? Do you have any clue what Behance will do for you? Would it be better to use Behance or not use Behance? My name is Stacy Schilling. I'm a visual design expert. I'm the creator and founder of Stacy Schilling Education Design Hub, and I'm here to answer that question for you. Behance or not Behance? That is the question today. So let me give you a little background about Behance and bring you up to speed, because some of you may know what it is and some of you may not know what it is. So Behance is an online portfolio website where you can create a portfolio for your work, for your design project. So if you're a designer, website designer, photographer, illustrator, whatever the case may be. Now, Behance used to be hooked up with LinkedIn years and years ago. So it used to be a component of LinkedIn. Somewhere along the lines, I don't know when the transition happened, but Behance broke its relationship off with LinkedIn and decided to hook up with Adobe, and now they're like best buds forever. I have no idea why. It's like Adobe has decided, I'm gonna eat everybody alive and we're gonna be the dominant one in the design force, because they've pretty much killed off Quark and they've killed off Macromedia, and now they've killed off the Behance and LinkedIn relationship. Now, Behance is free if you're an Adobe user. It's a way that you can create a portfolio about yourself and your work to let people know who you are and what you do, so that way they can decide whether they want to interview you and hire you for a job, or if they want to hire you for a project. Now, there's some great things about Behance, and then there's some not great things. Obviously, you have to have an Adobe membership in order to be able to use it. So if you're using any of the Adobe software, then obviously you already have attachment to the program. The next thing with Behance is you are going to be able to upload your photo, your website address. You're going to be able to add your contact information and all the portfolio pieces that you've created and write a description. Now, what's great about it is it's pretty much affordable if you're using any of the Adobe software. The not so great thing about Behance is you're under a lot of limitations of what you can do with the software and how you can create the design for yourself to make it work for you. And on top of that, you're standing out with a sea of other designers. Now, it's kind of like a needle in a haystack. If you are placing yourself in a huge pool of designers, you have to be able to stand out from your competition. And there's going to be people that have been designing for a lot longer than you with a lot more experience. So it might be a little challenging. Now, there's some search functions that people can use, so they can search by, Illustrator or graphic design or website design or particular program or a particular industry, which is great. But then it's going to bring up a list of as many designers that are using those same category tags as you are, and then they have to scroll through. The only way they're really going to find your portfolio is if you actually give them the actual link, or if they Google your name. If they don't know your name, or maybe they misspell your last name like they do mine, most people either misspell my first name because they'll add an E and there's no E in my first name. Sometimes they'll misspell my last name and leave out the C, and there's a C in my last name, so it's Stacy, S-T-A-C-Y, Schilling, SCHILLING.com is my website address. You can always go to my website and sign up for 5, 10, or 20-hour private lessons with me to work personally. Anyhow, so they always misspell my name. So that might not be the best option if that ever happens to you, because it happens to me all the time. I mean, like all the time. It's crazy insane. So you're going to have to stand out. So if you want to make yourself stand out from everybody else, my best recommendation would be to do your own online portfolio. And you're like, okay, what can I do with that? Well, there's a couple ways that you can create an online portfolio. You can go to GoDaddy and purchase one of their template sites and use that. You can go to Wix, you can go to Weebly, you can go to Squarespace, and you can go to WordPress. Any one of those sites, you're going to be able to purchase what I call a cookie cutter. Basically, it's a template that you can recycle over and over again, and you can change it. Now, you're limited on what you can do, but you can still make it work. There are going to be things that you want to be able to do in those softwares. However, you're going to have limitations. I'll give you a really great example. I'm currently tutoring a student right now in Wix, and she is a huge fan of the Adobe projects. She expects that the Wix platform is going to function exactly like Photoshop and Illustrator. When she puts something somewhere, she expects it not to go anywhere when it goes from the desktop side to the mobile side. And I have to keep reminding her that this is not an Adobe product, it's a Wix product. It also doesn't think the way you and I do. So when you add a new strip to the page, it's automatically going to send it to the bottom of the page, even though you might want it to the top. It doesn't know what you know because it doesn't have a brain. It's stupid. Basically, you have to tell Wix what you want it to do. So if you insert a strip and the strip ends up at the bottom, but you need it in the middle of the page or you need it to be at the top of the page, you physically have to move it to get it up there. Now, a couple other things she's running into issues with Wix, and I'm telling her to have a little patience, is the desktop and mobile layout. So when you create a website design, technically you are supposed to be doing the mobile side first. You'll find out more about this in my website course, Learn the Pretty Side of Website Design. So if you go to my website, stacyschilling.com, and click on Web Design Courses, you will be able to see that course where you'll get about 15 hours of instructional online video from start to finish on how to create your design concept for your website design in an easy format that requires no experience necessary, no coding, no software. So it's basically online video format that you follow along. You will need pen and paper and sketchpad and pencil so you can take notes and also create some concepts. But back to her problems in Wix. So when you're building a website in Wix, for example, you have to build the entire website on the desktop platform, which is opposite what we have to do in the web design world. So if you're gonna build a website from scratch on your own, you're actually gonna design the mobile site first and then you're gonna do the desktop side. The reason why is there are more people viewing a website on a mobile device than they are viewing it on a desktop or a laptop. So the website needs to look good no matter what phone or tablet size it's rendered on. And the laptop and the desktop are way in the back. But on the Wix platform, that's completely opposite. On the Wix platform, you have to design on the desktop. Now, once you design everything and it looks great on the desktop, then when you go to mobile, you're like, whoa, why does my file look like a hot mess and I have to rebuild it? Well, the problem is there's only so much coding and so much ability that you have on the Wix mobile side to restructure your layout. So you're basically conformed. You can make font sizes bigger and smaller, but you can't change the color. You can't break text. You can't add images. You can't add links. You can move your files up and down on the page, and you can hide items if you want them to be hidden, or you can show them. But you only have so much control on the design end. So those are some things that she is learning with the Wix platform, and I'm trying to help her understand that it doesn't function like an Adobe product. This is going to be the same type of issue with you're using Squarespace, if you're using Weebly, if you're using WordPress, and if you're using a cheap free site like Google Sites. When you're using one of these types of template companies, including Behance, so it's Behance or Behance not, you have limitations. You are not ever going to have full creative control of your design, and you're not going to have creative control over the coding. They have limits because they're selling you a design, and it's not just to you, they're selling it over and over again. So this design is going to be replicated by other designers. So basically it's a plug and chug. You're basically getting a file, you're taking all the photos out, you're plugging in your photos, then you're taking that text, deleting all the text that they have, copying and pasting your text in, and then you're publishing the site, and guess what? Your site is gonna basically look like somebody else's. The only difference is maybe there might be some color differences, there's gonna be copy differences, and there's gonna be image differences. But the layout is gonna be basically the same. So there's really no sense of putting a copyright because the layout copyright actually belongs to the creator of the company because they created the layout because it belongs to them. You're just using a template version. So you're limited into that control. That's what happens with a site like Behance. You're limited in what you can do design-wise for your website. So if you want to have more full creative control on your site to be able to do anything and everything that your heart can imagine, you are going to want to build a custom website on a platform that will allow you to do custom features. So you can use Dreamweaver, which is a great program, but you better know HTML and CSS, because if you don't even know that, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle and completely lost. You can build it on StackFlow, you can build it on Visual Studio Code, you can build it on Glitch. Those are online portals where you can design and build. The only thing is you're going to have to know a lot of HTML and CSS to be able to edit and refine the code before you can actually post it. And a lot of those sites, you can post it, but if you wanted to actually see online with your website, domain.com, or in my case, stacyschilling.com, you actually need to have a hosting server to host your website on so people can actually see it live. So if you want more information on my web design course, you need to go to my website, stacyschilling.com. You need to select the website course. Once you make a purchase, you're going to get notified that you need to go join the Facebook group on the web, learn the pretty side of website design. I will let you in the group, and then there will be about 14 to 15 videos in there that you will be able to watch and follow step by step my entire process I teach you from start to finish of how to create a website design, including the history of the web, fonts, colors, how to do your images. I even have a little Photoshop in there. I even have how to calculate your freelancer hourly rate, which is pretty cool because that's a really hard formula to figure out. I also have website layouts, including wireframe. So you can always go to my website, www.stacyschilling.com, to get more information, designer. Hope this helped for you to Behance or not Behance. Are you going to Behance or not Behance? Let me know below. Comment Behance or not Behance. Bye, designer. Have a great day.